I'd like to welcome you out today to our video. This is the second of 5 videos on family search. Today we're going to look at different ways you can look at your tree to start out with. And then the most important thing you'll be doing the rest of your life basically is searching. So we're going to look at some different searching places rather than just at the main family search location. So let's go look at the tree first. So I want to go to family search. So I'm going to go to, I've got my Chrome up. I'm going to click on family search and I'm going to go ahead and sign in. Okay, at the top menus up there, if you go look at them, let's look at the family tree one. And if you click on that, the overview is not anything real fun. It's just a rough idea for people to just get on here. We looked at the person page last time and went through that on lesson 1. So today we're going to start out with the tree. So if you'll go to family search and on the top menus, family tree, and click on the tree. So this will show you your tree, and there's different ways to looking at your tree. Yeah. When you create your tree, it will come up in landscape like it is right here, a landscape view. Now, a couple of cute little things. Let's say this landscape view was gone, and when you came here, you said, "Where's my tree? I'm lost." Well, what you can do, and sometimes the program does it and sometimes you do it, you can go bring that and recenter it. If you go to your far left up here in this little box, you can see this one that looks like a rifle target type thing. Click on it and it will bring that tree right back into the middle. Okay, another thing is, let's say you're way out over here and you're working on lines that are 20 generations and you've moved your tree and you don't know where you are. This happens to me all the time. I get off on a certain line in that and I want to come back to my spot, right to my original. So what you need to do is you go to the far left up here. Now instead of do recenter, go up to where it says home. And if you click on that, your tree comes right back to you, and that is your home. On the landscape view also, if you go to the very far right where it says options and click on that little down arrow, you can see or not see, depending on what you want to do, all these different things. If you want to see the temple ordinances on your tree, you can do that. If you don't want to, you just click this up here and they will not show up. Okay, you can do record, you can do all these different things. The more you have checked, the slower your program is going to be though. So kind of be careful of that one way or another. Okay, so this is what the family search calls the landscape view. It used to be the pedigree view, pedigree chart, and most everybody else calls it the pedigree chart. Now, there are some other options that you can view. If you go up to where it says landscape on your left, and there's a down arrow, click on that down arrow, and you can view a portrait, a fan chart, and descendancy. Let me show you each one. Let me click on portrait. Now on portrait you have to have enough pictures in there. And what you see here, here's me and my wife, our parents, their parents, and I've got about one more set, I believe, of parents with pictures. Now, not real useful. You can use it here, and so you can see it has the research helps that we looked at last week. It has various things on it, but it's mostly for if you go to a reunion or some kind of a meeting that you want to impress everybody, you can print this out and it looks cool. Okay, I'm going to go back and let's go to the next view. Click on portrait, and let's go to fan chart. Now, fan chart can be very, very useful. Let me show you some things about it. And Family Search has this year updated it dramatically. Before you could only do 4 generations, and if you look up here, you can do up to 7. And give it a second. And then you can make it larger or smaller. Now, here am I in the center, and on my mother's side, it's all color-coded. On my dad's side, now, a chart is really useful for finding who should I work on next. And you can see, if you look at my dad's side, this lady right here, there's no parents. Same way for this lady. So I should be working on these two, trying to find their parents. On my mom's side, you can see that there's a gap in here. So this is really helpful for me, and a lot of people use this to say, okay, I've done X amount of generations. It's hard to follow on the landscape view. But if you look at the chart, you can see that information really easily on what I should be following. Now, let's say I was going to work on this person here, and I want to, if I click on that person, you can go right to their person page or their tree. You can also, let me show you, if you look carefully down here, there's a little fan chart. Let's pick on somebody that has people. Like they all have that. If I click on that, that person will appear in the center of my chart. And you can see what the big gaps that I'm missing one way or another. Okay. And here again, I can click on up here at the chart. I can click on it and I can get back to me. Okay, let me close this a little bit. Okay, now what they've done is expanded this chart, and up here, if you look at it, this is the family where you can see the family lines one way or another. Now, what if you want to know what birth country? You can click on that, and it will show the different colors, and at the right-hand side, it will say what countries those are. And if you look at my chart, I have a lot of Germans on my mom's side, and a lot of English on my dad's side. And then I've got some other weird ones here and there. Okay, you can also click on this and look at sources. Who has sources and who doesn't? And here again, go to your legend at the right-hand side, and you can see the people that are white, there's no sources on them. The same thing for stories. I don't have any. Photos. We'll show you who has them and who doesn't. Research helps. And whose ordinances, if anybody needs ordinances. And you can see right here, I've got some people that I need to get their ordinance work done. A lot are in progress, and then a lot, because of various situations, I can't do anything about. Okay, that kind of gives you a rough idea of the different things, the way you can view it. All of these, if you go to the options up here, you can print them out, change colors, and do a couple of other things. So it gives you some options that you can print them. A lot of people like the fan chart. It's very popular, and we've had a lot of people, as we took our classes and that, go over to FedEx, Kinko's, and get it printed out 3 feet or 5 feet. It's pretty good size. The Mission Home also has a large printer over there. You can get it printed out. If you call them over there, they'll probably print this out for you. Okay? That's the different tree views one way or another. Okay, let's go back to the top and click on that family tree again. And let me show you some other things, other menus. We've covered tree, we've covered person. let's say you want to find somebody that you know is in your tree. You can go down to this and click on Find, and it will bring a basically asking you some questions. Ancestor's name, male or female. You can search by this. You can search by relationship. And if you know a person is on Family Search and you want to find them and go directly to them, this is a way to do it. If you know their ID, remember everybody has an ID. You can click on there and type in the ID and click Find, and they will take you right to that person. Okay, that's what the Find means in this menu. Let's go back to the menu again. You have to kind of back up. I've noticed that there's kind of a funny thing there. You have to back up a couple of times to use your back button until the family tree menu comes up again. Okay, we've looked at the tree. The person was the first lesson. That's how you find your relatives. This one here tells you who are you following. Remember on the first lesson we learned we can follow a person if there's any changes. And this will list the people that you're following and if there's any changes that have happened to them. And here you can see the people I'm following. I added a source on January 10th. And there's one change on that person versus when I put them on there. It tells you up here I'm following 10 people, and it gives you some options. You can sort by name, la-di-da-di-da. You can take a look at this if you have a chance. But this tells you who you're following. Okay? Okay, let's go to My Contributions. If I click on that one, this is a fairly new thing on Family Search. You can see your activity. The first thing is on the changes, it will show all of the changes to the people that are on my tree. And it will tell you a couple of events added, right, in December, so forth, and it tells you. If I have private people, I can click on there, same thing, list all of those. This one's really cute. If you click on Stats, it will show you my contributions, things I have done, changes I have made for the last, since 2012. And you can see here some years I was very active and did a lot of work. Some years not so much. Now, besides, I'm looking at all. I can click on sources. And these are sources I have, it tells me how many sources I have attached, a little over 6,000, and you can see what years I did those. You can also go to say, when did you add memories? And I have attached 1,400 memories, and those are the years that I have done those. And then the last one is, how many people have you added? And you can see I have created on Family Search 12,000 and so many people. And you can see what years I have done the most, and this kind of just a real cute little thing for you. Yeah. So there's way more to genealogy than meets the eye. Okay. Okay. If you go here and look at the family tree, we've covered all of the items in here. So let's go and look at another section, another menu. And this is one that you'll be using your whole life, and you'll be looking for people all the time. So let's click on Search. And let me walk you through all of these items that were in Search. Okay, let's say you have a name of a person. Somebody comes with you to your door and says, can you look up this person for me? So you're going to want to search the records that are on Family Search. So if you click on Records, the menu that comes up and it said historical records. Now, you can then type that person's name in and any other life events they may have, or their relationships, their peers, or their father and mother, or anything. And you can do a search, and it will search all of the family search records. Now, they've just added a new cute little feature. Let's say this person has a nickname that they're known by and not their real birth date. You can click on alternate names, and it will look at both their birth date and the alternate name or the nickname of that person. I've known a lot of people that have nicknames that they'll probably find more records under their nicknames than they will under their birth names. So this is for historical records that are found on Family Search. Okay? Let's go back up here and click on Search. Okay, now I want to do, let's say I want to look at images. And this is a brand new feature. And let me explain a little bit. The church presently has a little over 200 teams out there that every day they are taking pictures of records. Now, when they take the pictures, they upload those to Salt Lake of the records. And if you look right here, it tells you how many pictures are being updated right this second. And you can see how many they have, 4 billion and something records. Now, these are just images. These have not been indexed, but now Family Search is making these available to you. And what you need, what should I say? This gets a little more complicated. Let's say you have to know something about the person you're searching for. And one of the things is a place. Do you know where they were born? And if you type that in there, it will take you to, let's do, so you can kind of see. Let me just type in Germany. And it will give you a lot of where you want to go in Germany. Let's go to this in Germany. Now, remember these are images, not images of records. And as you look here, here's the marriage records in Germany, say. You can click on here and look at the marriage records. Now, because they're not indexed, you cannot search by name or specific things. But let's say I knew that my grandparents or something were married in Germany. I could click on there, I could click on the place, and if the church had images of that, you could look at those. Let me do one more thing so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay, here is the images of those records in Germany. Now, remember, they're not indexed. I can click on one, I can look at it, I can try to find the information, and so forth. It gets a little more difficult, and you have to work at it, and you have to know some information. Now, instead of me going into another great detail, let me show you, there are 4 or 5 more videos on YouTube that does a good job, better job than I do, of how to chase down a record. Okay, let's take a look at one of them. Okay, this is one that I found on YouTube that is pretty good. And if you go to the web and you type in this address right here, you will get this video. And the lady there wanders through it really pretty good, giving you some tips and some hints on how to find your ancestors. Remember though, it's not indexed. So it depends on how the person put the records together and a whole bunch of other things. So just be careful one way or another. But it is a resource for you that is not on any other website or any other place. These are the images that the church continuously downloads or up. Okay, let's go back and let's go back to search. We talked about records, images. Let's say you want to find somebody on Family Tree. This is another way to find that person. If you click on Family Tree, here this is same as the find that we found under Family Search, or Family Tree, I'm sorry. You type in the names, or you can do it by ID. So that's another search you can use. Okay, let's go back to search again. Oh, for some reason, I got to go back twice. Okay, we talked about records, images, Family Tree. Let's click on Genealogies. Okay, this is a real unique area that, what should I say? These are genealogies that people have submitted to Family Search. Let me give you an example. A couple of years ago, I had a lady call me. She knew I was teaching at the local senior center. She came in and said, do you want some information on Family Search? Not Family Search, on my line. And of course, I always take information. She invited me over to her house. And at her house, she had a room devoted to genealogy. She didn't have a computer. She didn't even know what Family Search was. But she gave me boxes of information. When I got home and opened the boxes, they were genealogy of her relatives. They have been working for over 70 years and in different areas and created trees for all of their family members. Now, I turned all these into Salt Lake. They are not on the search area. These are completely different. Let's show you what happens if you put in a name. Let me put in the last name, and I'll do a search. And what it does, it finds the names of all of these people that could be members of your family. If I click on that person's name, it will show me the line that somebody has turned in. And you see there's not much on this one. Some of them have a lot of information. Some of them have, like this, just this person. And you can go over here and find more information on it. This happens to be, this was an IGI, an old program that before Family Search. Who submitted it, not who submitted it, but the submission ID and other information. But it doesn't tell you very much. No children, it just has Jordan. Let's go back and try to find somebody that has a little bit longer one. Here's some with the spouse. Let's do Walahima. And here it has husband and wife and some other information. And some of these could be, and some of these names could be in Family Search, but many are not. Many people throughout the world know about Family Search, but it doesn't mean they have an account. But they might have turned in their genealogies on their families. So this will, if you're searching and you have a blockage or a dead end, try this, the genealogies up here, and you may be able to find a line that somebody else has turned in. And then you can find more information about these people. You can see over here on the left, it tells you about it, ID and everything like that. Okay, this is just another place for you to do searching. Okay, let's go back. And go to the top. Okay, we looked at records. Yep, maybe. We looked at records, we looked at images, we looked at finding your ancestor on the tree. We looked at, you can look at genealogies and look those up. Also, you can look in the catalog. Now, the catalog is a catch-all. What I mean by this is many people throughout the world will turn in information to Family Search, and they utilize this section for catalogs. Let me show you an example. Okay, this is an example from my wife's line. What this is we used to go to her family reunions. And at the family reunions, umpteen years ago, there was 10 or 15 people that always compared their genealogies. They didn't have computers, but they had books. And this is a book on my wife's family line. It lists information about crossing the plains, about every person, so forth and so on. This was turned into Family Search, and it is now in this section. Okay, let's go back. Okay, it is in what they call a catalog section. You can see they have books, materials, microfilm, just a catch-all. And what you can do is you can put or type in, let's do surnames instead of places. Let me type in my wife's surname and do a search, and it will go out there and find all of the catalog items that have the name of the last name of my wife's before marriage. And you can see here they have different books, things that were turned in one way or another. And if you, let's say you wanted to look here, you know this is where this person lived. You can see who did the research. It's a book, probably like I just showed you. And you can view a version of it. You can print it out. And over here you can print it. And you might find information. Now, just as a caution, on my wife's line, they did a lot of information, like crossing the plains. Today they ate this. They hurt their foot. A lot of information you don't need unless you're going to do stories. But information that it might come along and say, oh, Grandpa so-and-so died at this place here. And this might help you to move along also. It gives you a different place to look that is not on Family Search. Okay? That's catalogs. Okay, let's go up here then to books. This is a fairly new section. Now, what this is that Family Search has partnered with any library that has digital books. And you can see here, there's Arizona. I mean, these are all over the world. BYU, Houston, Dallas, anybody that has digital books. Okay, so what you've done then, you can go here and let's go my name. Type in a name, it could be very specific, and they will go through here and find the books that have that information or names on them. And here's one on Jordan, or a lot. How many did they find? 141,000. I can click on there. I can do the text. I can look at it. I can read it. This is throughout the world. So this is not on Family Search, again, the program, but it's here for you to look at a different place. Gives you a different resource for your research. Okay? Okay. And the last one in our category is the wiki. Now the wiki is really set up for you to help you search. It will guide you through it. They have a brand new thing over here called guided research. And if you click on here, it will guide you step by step what you should put in. Let's say you can also go on here and look at searching on your own. But let's say place, let's do England. England, and I'm going to click on search, and it's going to show me different ways. It'll tell me a little bit about it. It gives me a flag and so forth. It tells you about England, and these are different places and guides for you to research in England. You can see what all of these here. You can ask community, it has maps, it has everything. This is a research feature for you to help you to research a certain area of that. The wiki gets a little more complicated, but here again, it is another way for you to find information on your ancestors. Okay? So let's go back and take a look at the search menu. We looked at records, historical records, images that the churches taking pictures every day to find your ancestor on Family Tree. You can search genealogies, catalog, which is a catch-all, digital books, and the wiki. So that takes care of all of those items on that menu. Okay, we're going to skip over memories, indexing, and activities. We'll come back to those on a different lesson. But let's do temple. And if you click on temple, 3 different submenus come up. If I click on my reservations, it will tell you how many people and what status is on the ones that you have reserved. And here's the ones that I have reserved. Give them a minute. You can see I have 84 people. Here it tells what they are. Here's the ceiling of these 2. Nothing's been printed on them. So forth information when it would expire. And it tells you step by step all the different people you have. Okay. You can go in here and share all these with the temple or unreserve them. Let me show you. Click on this guy here. Let's say I want to share him. I want to unreserve him. I'm sorry, because I've already shared him with the temple. You can do that from here. So that kind of tells you what your reservations are. Okay, let's go back to temple. You click on shared, it will show you the names that you have shared with the temple and what status they are in. Maybe. You can see I've shared almost 3,000 names with the temple. It will say what, well, let's do the legend, I'm sorry. Maybe. Doesn't like me today. Well, you can look at that on your own, but it will say, oh, there it is. The legend is, there you can see what it is right here. Like this individual right here, he has all of these that are in progress. The one thing you need to be aware of, let's say you want to unreserve him. I cannot do that now because if you look up here, it has a little temple, which means the temple has printed this out and they're ready to give them out, and you can no longer do anything with them. So if it has a little temple by it, you're out of luck. Okay, let's go back up to temple. And the last thing is, let's say ordinance is ready. Now, what this is I'm going to the temple today and I want to do something. And what do you want to do? It's going to ask you. Let's say I want to do some baptisms. So I can click on the baptisms and confirmations. The program will go in and look on my tree and find these people need baptisms. And they will then, you can click on those and it will go to the temple and you can print them out, or you can just go to the temple, depending on which temple you have, and they will give you the cards. So this is for an individual that's going to the temple that day and wants to do an ordinance. So let me look at this one more time. Click on ordinance ready. And you can pick any of these on the line. Okay? If you have any questions, you can get a hold of me on that or talk to your local family history consultant. Okay, there's one other search that I missed on the searches. It's not on here, but let me explain a little bit to you, and let me show you. Okay, these are premium family history websites. Now, what this is when you go into a family search location to a family search history library, when they get open again, or if they're open in your area, they have a unique 17 additional websites that are, they have everything on them. They're the max. And you can go in there and for free, all of these websites normally cost money. For free, you can do a search. And let me show you some of these websites. Let's start at the top. And this is the British Library one. And you can see it provides a full on the British newspapers from the 19th century. Alexander Street Press is information on the Civil War and other movements in the United States that you can use for stories. American Ancestors, it's a large back east library that specializes in American records. Ancestry, this is the full version of it. Aardvark Digital is Swedish genealogy. FarmNet, the next one is New Zealand roots. Then you have Find My Past, which specializes in the UK and Ireland. It's very good for the smaller cities and that. Fold 3 has military records from all the wars. It's excellent if you want to know if your ancestors has been in any of wars and what they were. It tells about them. Their anything to do with their uh, military records. GenNet I haven't used a lot, but it is good for like France, Belgium, and so forth. Kinpoint shows problems in your family tree. MyHeritage is excellent for Europe and especially Germany. They utilize the latest technology, and I have found things on there that I have not found anywhere else. The individual running the program used to be a genealogist, and he knows what people need. Paper Trail I have not used a lot, and Pozilla will help you find other information on your ancestors that comes from a descendancy type chart. So those are other ones. If you go into the library, you can go ahead and use those for free. Like I said, they're the full programs, excellent to use, and a lot of them will greatly benefit you. Okay, we are done with lesson 2. Here again, if you have need my help or someone else's help, go ahead and contact us about these things. Otherwise, have a nice day. Thank you.